I'm here at the Outhousers.com. This is Zechs speaking. I am right now with Andrew Gaska. If I said the name, I hope I said
Andrew Gaska, yes.
Gaska. And he's right now in the publisher of Arcadia, and he's also known for Space 1999 and Planet of the Apes comic books. But let's tell us what you're doing right now and also your other works right now.
Sure. Just to clarify, it's actually the Planet of the Apes thing that I'm known for is not a comic book. It is a novel. It's okay.
I'm going to hit my head over that one because I that. I can forget.
It's a novel with paintings in it. But the Space 1999 stuff, we started it with Aftershock and All last year, and this book. And basically, we continued it with To Everything That Was, which is the book that just came out late last year, I guess. Basically what it is a taking of the old art that came out from the 70s books, and basically the way books were done back then, when it comes to licenses, the creative team weren't given the information they needed to like really make something that was specific to them. So what they would do is do a generic sci-fi story, and the characters' personalities usually want to come out very bland in that case. So what I've done is we've taken the original art, and we've taken the spirit of those original stories and rewritten them so that they are more connected with the characters' personalities, more in continuity with the original series. So we've also given the book a little bit of a facelift, where artists weren't given the proper reference, say, for the guns that they used in the show, so we tweaked that stuff, and most of it's in color for the first time. So it's a 304-page giant book.
It's a Bible.
Yes.
They got the New Testament and the Old Testament there.
Yes, exactly. With some great art from Gray Morrow, John Byrne, Vincent Alcazar. That's it. Great artists from the 70s. So.
Nice. Now, for now was this based on a TV show? Out of curiosity, or?
Yes, Space 1999 was a TV show in the 70s, starring Martin Landau and Barbara Bain. It came out in 1974, and the basic premise of it was that we stored a whole bunch of nuclear waste on the moon, and there's an accident which blasts the moon out of orbit, and the moon does this trippy thing going through galaxies, taking these people that are stuck on the moon along for the ride.
So pretty much it continues off of that series. So if anybody who wants to ever heard about this, you can jump on right into your first volume and then pretty much look at more. So you can start a whole new fan base of people to it.
Exactly. We designed the first volume like that. So the first half of that first book is an adaptation of the pilot episode. But one of the cool things is for people who are fans already and they're like, oh, now I know this. It was, when they shot it, it was 3 hours long. And they chopped it down to 45 minutes and threw out the rest. So recently what happened was people found audio cassettes in the studio that were recording the audio of those scenes, but that's it. So I was able to piece together those scenes, plus with old scripts, to basically create the full version of the pilot. A while. I basically wanted to make it as complete as possible. And one of the things is, between season 1 and 2 of the show, they changed the format completely and introduced a whole bunch of new characters. So what I've done is I've actually gone into the pilot and put those characters in so you knew what they were doing during the pilot, since they were not in the whole first season of the show. But they obviously had to have been on the moon because the moon blasts out of orbit. Yes. We got no new people. So they must have been there all along. What were they possibly doing? So it's the most complete version of the beginning story of Space 1999 you could possibly have.
Curious. And now, where's it available right now on? Is it on, where can you get this?
Amazon and bookstores. If Barnes & Noble doesn't have it, it's definitely orderable from them, so you can go in and order it. Most comic shops have it, so you can get it anywhere.
Is it on digital too?
It's on digital as well, yes.
So you can get a Comixology?
Yes, Comixology.
Okay. And what about your other book, Planet of the Apes?
Well, Planet of the Apes, basically Conspiracy of the Planet of the Apes. Do we want to get the cover in there? Sure. Conspiracy of the Planet of the Apes.
That's okay.
Basically, it's an illustrated novel. It is currently it is the only original novel that takes place in the continuity of the classic Planet of the Apes license. There were many novels that came out in the 70s, but they were all adaptations of the movies or the TV episodes or the animated series. So it's the first original novel set in that continuity.
What's it like writing prose and writing comics? How do you do you stop stuff from writing a script for this and doing like this? How do you do that?
Well, the comics is a lot easier because I went to school for comics. I was trained by Denny O'Neil from Batman fame.
Ooh.
Yes, awesome dude. I was actually trained in comics layout by Carmen Infantino, and my graphic novel teacher was Walter Simonson. So I had all the greats.
Yes, you did. You had a Legends rack there.
Thank you. So the funny thing about this is that, you know, I always thought I was going to go into prose eventually, but when we pitched the idea of doing when I went to Fox to do Apes in the first place, it was back in 2005. It was before Boom had the comics license, and I went to pitch comics, and they had with a previous publisher for comics for Apes, they had negative experience. So when I went in there, I was like, okay, I want to do comics, and they're like, we don't want to do comics ever again for Planet of the Apes. I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, crap, what am I going to do? I was like, well, it's not really comics. It's like that Aliens Tribes book that came out from Dark Horse. It's really just paintings with a novel, and I lucked out because the person in charge of licensing then was like, Aliens Tribes is my favorite project I've ever worked on. So sold. I was like, great, now I got to write a prose book. So it worked out really well, but yeah, so this was my first novel, and luckily I seem to know what I was doing because it's got great reviews. This basically takes place during, it's a lot harder, because basically even though that there's art in here, there's beautiful paintings by say amazing artists. This is from Eric Geist. There's work in here from Dave Dorman. The cover was done by Jim Steranko. You know, it's some amazing stuff. But I wanted it to be a novel in its own right, so that I made sure that if the paintings were gone, things were still described in such a vivid way that you could still see them in your head.
Now, how did you imagine doing this script of this Planet of the Apes? Like, how much did you pay attention? Like, did you watch every single like movie and TV show and everything?
Yes.
Just like, okay, can't do that, can't do that, but like this one I gotta do this one. I can do that one.
Yeah. See, basically, all right. So the concept of the book is that it takes place during the original movie. Okay. And it tells the story of Landon, the astronaut that disappears and winds up showing up at the end of the movie lobotomized. So it basically fills in the story of what happened to him. So instead of following, you know, Chuck Heston, you follow this guy. Basically, I used it as a way to explain a lot of the stuff what was happening with the ape characters from the other movies during Planet of the Apes. So it's a fill in the blank type thing. One of the things is that's really important to the Planet of the Apes mythos as the whole film's taken as a whole story rather than just the first film, is the third movie, Escape from the Planet of the Apes. You find out that off camera, Cornelius Zira and a guy named Dr. Milo, who we've never met before, apparently somehow got Taylor's spaceship out of the water and used it to go back in time in 1973. So what happens in this is Landon meets Milo, and he says, listen, no, I'm from another planet. I'll tell you where my ship is. The proof is there. And Milo goes to find the ship because of it. By the end of this book, the ship is being taken out of the water. So basically, I'm using it to fill in blanks that make things make a lot more sense.
It makes the movie better, too.
Yes. A lot of the reviews have said that, you know, this fills in the blanks and makes the whole mythos make sense more, and it definitely enhances things. So, and that's what I was going for. Another compliment I've gotten on the book a lot is that it feels like it was written in the 60s. And that's something I wanted to do, the language that is used in describing things.
Even the cover, I mean, it's Steranko.
Well,
it has a classic 60s look to it.
I've got an amazing story to tell you about this cover. So, I work freelance for Rockstar Games.
Okay.
And I was at a con, and I was working at a booth next to where Jim Steranko was sitting at Vanguard Productions. And he kept seeing me leave the con and come back, and he's like, why do you keep leaving? You're supposed to be running this booth. You keep leaving it to other people. I said, basically, I make all my money working freelance for Rockstar, and when they need something, I have to jump. He's like, wait a minute, so you're leaving, going back to the hotel room, and working for them? I said, yeah. And he's like, so you're juggling it all, you're making it all happen. I'm like, yeah, I gotta do what I can. He's like, listen, my friend, you're an amazing individual. He said, one day you're gonna need a favor, and you're gonna call me at 1 a.m, and you're gonna say, Jim, I need this favor, and I'm gonna do it for you. I said, okay, and he hands me his phone number. so I'm like, I think I know what that favor's gonna be. So I waited till 1 a.m.
You actually waited till 1 a.m. for him.
You gotta make it right.
Was it East Coast or West Coast time for him?
Him and I are both on East Coast, so
you timed it perfectly accurate.
Yes. And I was like, Jim, remember that favor?
And did he say? What did he say after that?
He said, okay, I'll do it for you for half price.
The fact that he possibly remembered that probably is why he got the half price there.
Yep. So seriously, it's amazing work. And then I sent him basically what the book is about, and then I told him I'm really feeling those Japanese movie posters from the 70s now, where there's like a million heads and characters and little scenes going on. And I sent him ideas, and I said, of course, Jim, whatever you want to do is because you're Jim Steranko, of course. So I sent it to him, and he calls me back. He goes, "Yeah, I read what you wanted, and I'm not going to do that." I was like, "That's totally fine, Jim." He's like, "So you'll see what you get." And then when he sent me the image, I was like, "This is kind of what I asked for." And he said, "I think this turned out to be more of what you wanted and less of what I wanted to do."
So what happened to the original piece of art?
He has it.
He has it.
Unless he sold it.
I was wondering if you got it.
Oh, no.
And it's somewhere framed in your wall. It's like, yes.
No, I could probably take out a mortgage with that.
Yes, you could.
So he held on to that. I know it's been in a few museum showings, and I don't know if he sold it.
But it's supposed to be amazing just to have a legend like that work on your book.
Oh, yeah.
And have a split on your cover on your book.
It truly is amazing.
I bet you were giddy when you saw that you had that card copy in your hand.
You understand, the hard copy was about as big as this banner here. It's this giant thing. And we're like, okay, so are we going to scan this in pieces? Or we actually had to find some place in Jersey that photographs art that big. Nobody does it anymore.
Really?
Because the reproduction work is never done that big anymore.
Yes.
So I had to drive deep into Jersey with Mark Smiley, who was the founder of Archaea. Him and I drove deep into Jersey to find this place, and they photographed it, and it all worked out. But
oh my God!
It was amazing.
Now, where is this available at?
This is everywhere as well.
But it's not available on Comixology. But can you download Amazon Kindle or something? Or
no. My deal with Fox did not include digital.
Okay.
So this has never been released digital.
Okay. And now, is there anything else you're doing in the future right now?
Yes, I'm doing this for Buck Rogers in the 25th century. So, with the Gil Gerard version.
Okay.
So,
yeah, there's a lot of Buck Rogers, but I was like,
yes.
there's only one Gil Gerard version.
Yes, there is. So basically, we're doing a novel which is essentially the third season of the show. So it's going to make sense between why the format changed so much between season 1 and 2. It's going to do what I do.
Now, is it going to be a graphic novel, or is it going to be like an issues?
It's a novel just like this.
Okay, prose novel. Ooh.
With paintings. Yes, it is. And one of the cool things is we're going to be doing an audio drama utilizing the original actors. So there's some cool stuff going on about that I really can't announce yet.
That's right.
But I will announce it with you when I can announce it.
Okay. Will you be voicing your own voice drama? Would you want to be a little random robot there? It's like, or a computer voice? Would you want to?
I hadn't even thought about it. Yeah, the ham in me wants to do it, but I don't know. We want some quality here, so I don't know.
I know, but come on. You want to be next to Jill Gerard and say, "Yes, sir."
Yeah, I think I want good sales on this thing, so I think we're going to get some professionals to work on it. But it's a fun idea.
It is a fun idea. It's something that hasn't been done in a while. Like, this hasn't been done in like a year. I mean, who would not think of a prose novel like that? It's original and just beautiful. It's cover and it's the ideas. I mean, it works.
Yeah, thank you. I want to bring unique projects to the market. Basically, we need more promotion of this stuff, so I'm really glad that you guys are interviewing me on this. But people who find out about this are blown away by it, and they buy it, but nobody seems to know it exists.
Well, they will know soon.
Yes. Well, I appreciate that.
No problem at all.
In addition to that, I have Critical Millennium, which is my creator-owned sci-fi book. That's also available everywhere.
We'll talk about that a little bit.
Say again?
Talk about your Critical Millennium. Talk about, yeah.
Okay. Basically, Critical Millennium takes place 2,000 years in the future.
Okay.
A lot of things have changed. North America's been bombed off the map.
Atomic bombs or just bomb-dons?
We're leaving it ambiguous.
Okay.
Okay. Basically, whites are blamed for the destruction that's happened on the planet. Most of them live in ghettos in Asian countries and are called ghosts. So, as a derogatory term, part of it's because of the whiteness of their skin. The other part is because they're dead already. They just don't know it. So, we've decimated the resources of the planet. Scientists realize suddenly, hey, Earth is only going to support human life for about another 200 years with what we've done to it. They go to the government, and government's like, no, recycling's working, don't worry about it, because they want to keep control over everybody. So the scientists go to, they find this rich kid who just inherited more money than God, and they convince him to put all his money into developing a faster than light speed drive to take mankind to the stars, or humanity's going to die out. So basically, with this situation, the government is trying to lock everybody down because they're afraid that if we become an interstellar community, they won't be able to control everyone anymore. There's terrorist groups who think mankind belongs here, so we're going to keep us here. So they're trying to stop the government, the whole project from happening. And it's a real cluster F.
Now, where's that available at, out of curiosity?
That's everywhere, including Comixology. I'll just show you some of the brilliant art in this from Dan DeSalle.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be back a little before 5.
Artist is amazing. So this is the first book of a series.
Okay.
Because I've been working on these other projects, we sort of took a hiatus towards continuing Critical Millennium at the moment. But
what was that hiatus? So we can kick back in now. Is it gonna be like in a couple of months or?
Oh well, this book came out in 2011.
Okay.
And basically, it's going to be probably 2015 before you see the next book.
Okay.
Okay. So, in addition to this, I just signed a deal with Titan to do a book called Charger. I'm not allowed to talk about that yet.
Okay.
But I'm allowed to just put that out there. And again, I will let you know so we can get more coverage on that. I think they're making an announcement either in May or at San Diego.
I'll make sure we get that thing. It was a pleasure meeting you, sir.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for your time. Thank you for all those wonderful books you are doing.
Thank you.
And the good Steranko story. I'll remember that.
That's probably going to be the most interesting story to your viewers.
Yes,
readers.
maybe, probably. I don't know. We'll find out.
Cool.
It was nice meeting you, sir. Thank you again.